Alright, what's going on everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a little bit of disappointing news that I kind of want to talk about with you guys again. Like most of you kind of know, it is a really big issue right now going around with the Creation Club, with it currently looking like it is not going to get updated anymore for Fallout 4. Again, we are like 15 days into the new year. They've had like 3 weeks, or well, again, before, like they didn't update on the last week of 2021 as well. So it's been like 3 weeks since we've had an update to the Creation Club, and it is getting really concerning now, because I genuinely believe that there's a chance that they could potentially be updating the Creation Club for 2022, which really sucks, because this could actually be the year that the Creation Club dies for Fallout 4. And why I thought this is really weird, I actually thought this could have been like the year for Fallout 4's Creation Club, because we saw how they re-released Skyrim and kind of, gave it a little bit, I think, better graphics on the PS5 or whatever. Gave it like a free fishing DLC or something like that, a couple other stuff. But then they added a bunch of new Creation Club content. I believe they're still adding more content like every single week or every single month to it. And yet we're somehow not getting any new content to Fallout 4. It really doesn't make any sense. But the reason why we actually haven't had any new content to Fallout 4 is just based on the fact that Bethesda are like low-key being sued right now. And for those of you who don't know what I mean by this, is basically when the Fallout 4 mods were coming out, Bethesda actually released this thing called the Season Pass, which basically meant if you bought this, you got all Fallout 4 DLC for free. Any DLC that Bethesda released for Fallout 4, you would get for free. And that was the case for like the first 6, DLCs that they released. You got it for free if you had the Season Pass. But then about a year or so later, in 2017, Bethesda would actually release this thing called the Creation Club, which added this like mini DLC size mod things that you could purchase in the game. Mod authors and that would all, of course, kind of work on, and people like Bethesda would make them. This and that, and again, it was touted as kind of mini DLC, and really it was. So the eyebrow was kind of raised when people said, well, hold on a second, I've bought the Season Pass for a lot of money, you promised me all DLC for this game would be free, right? But again, they still charged for all this Creation Club content, which also makes sense because it's more of like these paid mods than mini DLC. But the issue is Bethesda are now currently getting sued because they promised people who bought the Season Pass any DLC that they would release to the game would be for free. But instead, all this Creation Club stuff that they've been releasing, from like 2017 and 19, none of it was free for, Fallout 4 Season Pass owners. None of it was. They never got any of the content. So basically all these people have come out and said, well, this is a load of bullshit. We want our money back, this and that, and again, they're getting sued. So that's why there hasn't been any new update, because this lawsuit is going on right now. And I believe it's been going on for like 2 years, because it hasn't been settled at all. The other thing is as well, I think Bethesda kind of accomplished everything they wanted to do with the Creation Club on Fallout 4. And what I mean by this is, one of the last updates they actually revealed was a creation called the Capital Wasteland Mercenaries. That basically they remastered a small part of Fallout 3 in the capital, in the GNR Plaza rather, and brought it into Fallout 4 graphics. Now why this is pretty important is they want to see if they could do this, potentially reusing some Fallout 3 assets but updating it for Fallout 4, and see if it would work. Again, clearly whatever they were aiming for worked, and the Creation Club was just an experiment for this, because they were able to sell this kind of content to people while also experimenting with the game and the updated kind of, the game system and how everything was going there. Why this is important is because in 2021 at E3, Bethesda actually announced a new DLC coming in 2022 called The Pit, which would actually have players go back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which we saw in the Fallout 3 DLC. Basically now, that experiment that Bethesda did with the Creation Club, where they saw, well, can we reuse old assets, put them into the game files, and see if we can update the graphics, this and that. Clearly it worked, because now they're kind of building this whole entire mod. And again, we're going to go back to Pittsburgh. We're going to probably see that story before what we got to see in Fallout 3, and I think it's going to be a good time, and I think a lot of those assets will be from Fallout 3, this and that, just with updated graphics. Now, Bethesda would have never known if they could do this without releasing the previous content that they did in the Creation Club, which was a big experiment, I believe, to kind of say, well, in fact, yeah, they can do this. They can potentially reuse some assets, do this and that, and it, of course, worked. So again, not only are they being sued, but Creation Club was also kind of an experiment for Fallout 76 and potential other Fallout games. And I believe in Fallout 76 we'll get to see even more old locations after the pit eventually does come out. And again, that experiment will have been a huge success for Bethesda. The issue is, I don't understand why they wouldn't be at least updating the featured page for the Creation Club and why this lawsuit hasn't been over yet. I seriously can't understand how this lawsuit can go for 2 years. Like, surely Bethesda would have even given up or won by now, right? Like, I don't understand how it can happen. I know COVID and that has all been happening, but like, come on. Zoom is a thing. Why has this lawsuit not been resolved yet? It's been like 2 years. And whether you think Bethesda are in the wrong or not, I think the answer should be, pretty easy for the judge or whatever to, discover. It's really not hard. Bethesda are either guilty by, selling off these mini DLCs or paid mods not a part of the season pass, or they're not. It's really not that difficult to decide. I don't understand why it hasn't been resolved yet. Or maybe it has, and maybe a part of the deal was for Bethesda to not ever update the Creation Club again, unless they give it to free for season pass players. But that's the thing. Wouldn't you think season pass players would just get it for free then? There are a lot of big issues going on with this. I don't know if the Creation Club's going to get updated in 2022. I really hope so, but it's a pretty big issue right now, and I don't know if it's going to be getting resolved for a big amount of time. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think the Creation Club's going to get updated this year? Do you guys think it won't? Whatever. Definitely let me know. Subscribe to the channel for all latest Fallout, gaming content, news, this and that. Don't forget to check out my podcast and IRL/vlog channels, all of them, and my sports channels. Link for them will be in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Upside down.